Abusuafo menkyerɛkyerɛ obi bi ansa ma obi bi akɔ aba bi mfa mbra nkasa TV so. Abusuafo yɛbɛkae a 2024 John Dramani Mahama ɛhyɛ bɔ bebree ɛde ma Ghanafoɔ sɛ yɛsrɛ no ɔsrɛ Ghanafoɔ sɛ yɛto aba no ma no a ɛyɛ 120 days ɔde bɛsesa biribia even approach a ɔde bɛkɔ galamsey a fight galamsey no ɔbɛyɛ. Even use artificial AI ɛde ako ɛyɛ galamsey no approach bi a anyɛ yie bia ɔno ɔbɛhwɛ sɛ ɛbɛkɔ yie. Abusuafo na that means sɛ ɛyɛ approximately 4 months. Amena wokasa yi deɛ galamsey ayɛ worse ɔman Ghana mu ase akyɛ sɛ yɛanhwɛ yie ne yɛamfa yɛn nan ansi fam ne yɛanka bi a galamsey na ɛbɛtɔ da bi nsuo nkɔ a ɛbɛyɛ den. Na ɛno na John Fifi Atamos, late President John Fifi Atamos, ne brother Cadman Mills ɛde nsɛm abɛto abɔnten fa NDC amanyɔkuo no ho. Yɛnkɔtie nsɛm no nkyɛm. Subscribe to my channel, like it, and for adwenkyɛ gu comment section kama.
And in fact, sometime last year, he made a comment which showed me very clearly that he was quite conscious of the so-called positive impact that earnings from small-scale mining are having, or can potentially have on the economy. The Gold Board keeps, boasting a lot about how much they have been buying from the small-scale miners. So that definitely is there in their mind. They realize that stopping that will have an impact, whether we like it or not, on the stability of the city. Is that what is driving them or making them a little lackadaisical in the fight? I don't know, but we have to acknowledge that there's this conflict. There's this very obvious conflict, right, between how the city is performing, a ruthless fight against galamsey, which stops virtually all of small-scale mining because most of them, if not virtually all, are not doing the right thing. I did some looking around last year when I started writing on galamsey, and on Twitter, by the way. I have many tweets dating from October last week, where in fact I call galamsey environmental terrorism. And that's why I was a little upset that people are saying that I just came, to the field. No. I've been working on it. I was at, GNPC. Yeah. I know the extractive sectors, and therefore I very much, look at the conflict between the collective good and the personal good, personal gain, and how it can best, be joined. And therefore, here we are. If you look at one of the tweets that I did, actually last year, when looking at the policy of the government to allow so-called licensed small-scale mining, I actually did an extensive tweet where I pointed out that maybe we have to reconsider small-scale mining in Ghana because there's no way a small-scale miner can afford to do it right. How do you do it right? First of all, because of the conflict between the collective good and the personal good, you cannot just simply say, listen, I would like to mine. First, you apply for an exploration license. An exploration license permits you to determine if indeed there are economic deposits in the area where you would like to mine. Once you make that determination, just simply by exploring, not mining, but actually exploring, and it requires some very sophisticated geological and scientific methods to determine the size of the deposit and whether or not it's economic and everything else. Then you prepare what they call a plan of development. A plan of development tells the person that you're going to apply for the mining license from, that first of all, from the society's point of view, you are going to use the most efficient methods in order to mine. so that we will not spend more resources in terms of capital, in terms of labor, in order to get the gold out of the soil. Secondly, that you're going to use a method which doesn't do too much damage to the environment. And therefore you prepare an environmental assessment plan and you put in mitigation measures to correct any damage that we can foresee can be caused to the environment. It is then and only then that society can give you a license to mine. That is not what is happening in Ghana. Any bozo just simply goes because he's a party member and he's given a license to explore. And the exploration license is being used to actually mine in areas where maybe there is gold, maybe there isn't gold. And unfortunately, it's become almost like accepted that if you hold a license, even if it's just simply exploration license, then you're free to go. And it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable because you are talking to me now about the repercussions. You know I was in Ghana very recently.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I didn't tell you is that I was very sick. I had been away only for a year. But just simply drinking the water in the central region, not even drinking it actually, using it to cook, using it to brush my teeth. I had a major stomach upset for almost all the time that I was there. That was the click to me that, look, this thing is not, it's not some theory. And you don't have to be in the mining, zone in order to be affected by it. The food we eat, you're telling me about the heavy metals. The water, just simply by looking at it. And its impact on generations to come. Children being born with heavy metals and developmental retardation and things like that. It's the way we are handling this thing. It's a scandal.
Doc, do you support the calls for a state of emergency to be declared in certain areas?
If for no other reason than the psychological impact that says, look, we're not playing around. I think it needs to be done. Much more importantly, I think we have to call the government to task. I see, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am, that really the government is a little conflicted in its fight against galamsey. It's not taking it seriously.